Coal ash is the toxic material left over after burning coal. It's a dangerous waste product. If coal ash gets wet, it contaminates the water with toxic heavy metals, and if it's dry and blows in the wind, it's a breathing hazard. So, it is important to dispose of coal ash carefully. The Michigan City Power Plant in Indiana started burning coal in 1931. It is still there on the shore of Lake Michigan, next to where Trail Creek enters the lake. Michigan City, which is right next to the power plant, has been treated as a sacrifice zone, a community where residents, mainly low-income families and people of color, live in proximity to polluting industries. This is an aerial photo from 1951 looking down on the Michigan City Power Plant. The red arrow points to the power plant. Lake Michigan is across the top and left sides of the photo, and Trail Creek flows into the lake just to the right of the power plant. From 1931 to about 1950, the coal ash from the Michigan City Power Plant was disposed of in a coal ash pond. Here, where the red circle is, right next to Trail Creek. In about 1950, steel sheet pilings were used to build a seawall out into Lake Michigan in a triangular shape. The red arrows are on the steel seawall. From 1950 to about 1970, the power company disposed of coal ash inside the triangular area and mixed it with sand to fill in behind the seawall. You can see that in 1951, most of the area inside the triangle was still water. This photo is from 10 years later in 1961. At that time, most of the triangle that used to be part of Lake Michigan was filled in with the coal ash and sand mixture. This photo from 1977 shows the triangular area completely filled in. The coal ash and sand fill is up to 40 feet deep. These red arrows point to new coal ash and wastewater ponds that were built on top of the coal ash and sand fill. Along the outer edge of the triangle, a second steel seawall was added. This is how the site appears in 2021. It is largely the same as in 1977. It is estimated that altogether the site has about 2 million tons of coal ash. That coal ash is being held out of Lake Michigan and Trail Creek by the aging steel seawall. With this drone footage, we get a different view of the Michigan City Power Plant. We start at the corner next to Trail Creek, where buildings and parking lots were built on top of the old coal ash pond from the 1930s. Here we start to see the newer wastewater and coal ash ponds that were built on top of the coal ash fill. This is the triangular area that used to be part of Lake Michigan. In front of the wastewater and ash ponds, you can see the two steel seawalls, though the outer wall is barely visible above the water. Even small waves easily wash over the outer seawall and leave water pooling between the two seawalls. The water level in the lake has been rising in recent years. The high water and waves increase the risk of the seawall failing. This is the western end of the steel seawall. There are blocks of stone along the seawall to reinforce it. As the seawall runs out into the water, we can see parts of the seawall are missing or falling over. Steel seawalls don't last forever. Eventually, the steel corrodes and loses strength. If the seawall fails, the coal ash will spill into Lake Michigan and Trail Creek. This photo of corrosion is from a 2018 inspection of the Michigan City seawall available in the public record. The inspection found parts of the seawall where 20 to 25% of the wall's thickness had already been lost to corrosion. The functional life of this type of wall is estimated to be 70 years. The majority of the Michigan City seawall is more than 70 years old. A spill at Michigan City could create a catastrophe similar to this coal ash spill in Kingston, Tennessee in 2008. Kingston and other spills have shown that cleaning up after a spill is much more expensive than dealing with the coal ash properly before it spills. Coal ash needs secure, permanent disposal. Disposal on the lakeshore behind an aging steel seawall is not a secure or permanent mode of disposal. There is already documentation that the seawall is leaking, allowing arsenic and other coal ash contaminants into Lake Michigan and Trail Creek. It is only a matter of time until the seawall fails, creating a spill, so this mode of disposal poses an imminent and substantial endangerment. Complete cleanup after a spill is impossible, but it is possible to remove the ash now before it spills. At many other coal ash sites around the country, coal ash has been removed from risky locations next to waterways, including sites that have removed much more coal ash than is present at Michigan City. At Riverbend, 5.4 million tons, at Buck, 6.7 million, and at Wateree, 3.5 million tons of coal ash were removed. So we know that removal of the 2 million tons at Michigan City is feasible. Not only is it feasible, a recent study showed that removing the ash at Michigan City would create jobs and boost the local economy. Coal ash removal could even lead to a restored lakeshore. The Hoosier Environmental Council and Just Transition Northwest Indiana, along with nearly 2,000 Lake Michigan residents, are calling on the power company NIPSCO to remove all of the coal ash at Michigan City to prevent a spill and benefit the community.